Welcome everybody to the Street Smart Millionaire. Today we have one of my longtime friends, Patrick Conway, out of San Antonio, Texas. So Patrick, how long have you been a realtor?
Man, I've been a realtor for going on 13 years.
And how'd you get started?
Man, I was a title rep chasing a bunch of guys, and all the top guys in San Antonio had one thing in common. They were all part of something called the core. So I was like chasing them, trying to find their refi business if they were a lender, trying to get their listing business if they were a realtor. All the top guys were affiliated with the core. So they were like, some of the lenders said, hey, fill a room with some realtors so I can coach them and train them, and I'll give you my refi business. And all of the lenders that I did that with were teaching like some simple, basic things on how to prospect to the people that already know, like, and trust you. And it was all based on the core stuff. So that's kind of how I got
Cool.
exposed.
So that's how we met about 10 years ago when you got in real estate, right?
Yep, that's about right.
And you've been a student of mine for 10 years and you've been a coach
Whole
of
thing.
mine for how long?
Going on 8 now.
8 years you've been a coach.
Yep,
So you've made a million. How many years in a row?
6
Is that grossing or netting a million?
netting.
So you've netted $1 million. So that looks like how many million in real estate do you sell a year?
We're somewhere between 75 and 80 typically.
So 75 and 80 million every year in real estate. And how many families do you help a year? How many families does that work out to be?
Last year was 155. Kind of shifted my business model. We used to do like 300 plus, and I made a little bit of money, and I wasn't great on a P&L. And now we're high dollar, high touch, higher relationship, deeper
So
VIPs, and I make
you're
a deal.
so you're 12 clients a month. And when I look at business, whether it's real estate or mortgage or coaching or plumbing or financial planning or law, any business I look at, I always look at three things. I always look at their sales, I look at their team, and I look at their money. How many warm leads do you generate a month?
We're right around 25 warm.
You get
True.
25 warm leads a month. So what is a warm lead?
Warm leads. It's somebody that I know or somebody that I know that knows them that referred me to sell their house or buy their
So
house.
somebody either you know or that knows somebody that you know, which we call a triangle for trust. They refer you because they trust you. Then the client will automatically trust you because they like you. So that's called our triangle for trust. So
Exactly.
you get 25 warm leads a month that either want to sell a house or buy a house. Do you do any paid advertisement?
The only paid stuff we do is like a geographic farm. That's about it.
So you don't do any Zillow or any cold advertising or any Google click advertising either. So totally
Zero.
relationship based, which is, what I like. So
Yep.
when you look at people that in all these years that you've been with us that make a lot of money and the people that don't make a lot of money, what are three of the differences you see between the people that make a lot of money and the people that don't?
I think number one, they have to have tight list. And when I say tight list, it's got to be their 400 person list dialed in and their 40 VIPs dialed in. So that's probably the number one indicator right there. Number
So
two
they
is
know who they're going to call. They know who they're going to call. So when you look at your business, we teach off the hand that feeds me. I like a 6 bullet point business plan. So when
oh, yeah.
we look for realtors, we look at 40 local people that you care about. So tell me about that list of VIPs or sphere of influence. So you have 40, correct?
Yep, 40 VIPs that I'm in their life. They're engulfed in my life. My kids hang out with their kids. They want to see me successful in business. I want to see them successful in business. Law of reciprocity is going back and forth, but I almost demand 2 deals a year from them, each
So
one.
you have 40 people that you're trying to take such good care of that they bring you 2 deals apiece.
Yes, sir.
Now, what's the concept? How do you work? How do you identify them first?
So for me, it's somebody that's a mover and shaker, potentially wealthy, a business owner, a building owner in town, somebody that's like has some influence in San Antonio, but like we have some type of good relationship. So we have
I
some
mean,
common.
couldn't it be simpler than that to just somebody you know and like? Couldn't they
Yeah,
even refer you to people? So, yes,
absolutely.
I know you want to get the best people on your list, but doesn't it really start with like 40 local people that you know about, you care about? Can't they
That makes
all
it a lot
refer you
easier.
a couple
Yes,
deals?
absolutely.
I look at all human beings as an ATM machine. What do I mean by that?
Well, if they refer you, you make some money.
Well, no, I mean, I make deposits in people's lives and
Gotcha.
they want to make deposits in mine. Do you agree with that?
Yes, sir.
That's kind of a basic concept of relationship building. How do you stay in contact with these 40 people? What do you do? Like if you were to give 3 or 4
Well,
techniques of what you do, what do you do?
number one, Mondays is the biggest day. So I call them all on Mondays. So if I have 40 people, I want to at least talk to 10 of them every single Monday. So I just
So you
follow
want
up
to
on their.
call 10 of them every single Monday. And what does that call go like? Like, let's say you're calling me. Hey, this is Rick.
Hey, Rick, it's Patrick Conway. How you doing, man?
Hey, Patrick, what's up?
I saw that you were at the national championship game. How was that?
I took my best friend is a Notre Dame fan. One of my other friends and one of my coaches is an Ohio State fan. So I was kind of Switzerland. I was neutral because I don't really have a
Wow.
fan. So we drove to Atlanta. My buddy flew in. We walked around, went to the game. It was an unbelievable game. Very exciting. Did you watch it?
That's so cool. Me and my boys were trying to watch it. They get a little distracted. They're only 7 years
I know
old
you
right now.
got such
It
little
was
kids;
fun.
they get distracted easily when they're
Yeah.
little. So we had a good time. The game was over at 11:30. We drove 2 hours back last night, got a hotel, drove in early this morning, went to the house, showered, shaved, been working all day. I try to get as many fun activities mixed with my work activities, but we had a great time. Thanks for asking.
Man, that's awesome. I just like every time I'm talking to you, I take notes. I learn a whole bunch. Like you're super influential in my life, man. I just need to talk to you even more often. Hey, is there anything extra that I can do for you?
Well, I'm always looking for some new clients for realtors to coach or lenders to coach. I'm always looking for clients for mortgages. Anything you can send me, I appreciate it.
I actually have a couple. I'll get them over to Victoria and get them in front of you. Sound good?
Man, thanks a lot. I really appreciate you. What can I
I got
do
a
for
big
you?
favor to ask you.
What can I do for you?
Can you send me just one person that needs to buy or sell a home this year?
You know what? I will tell you what. I will go out of my way this week to find you one client that wants to buy a house because I really think real estate is the best way to make money in America. So I will tell you what I'll do because take such good care of me. I'm going to go find one person for you this week that wants to buy a house. Okay.
Oh, I love it. I'll take exceptional care
You
of them,
don't
man.
care if it's not big or not, do you?
Oh, I help everybody. It's all good.
Oh, good. Well, Patrick, it's always great talking to you. See you later.
Absolutely. Thanks, man. We'll see you.
So that's how those calls go. So you call
Mhm.
10 of the 40 every Monday.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
do you use a CRM?
My staff's on a good CRM. I literally have like an Excel spreadsheet. They print out the names and put it in front of me. Just keep it
So they
simple.
give you a list every Monday morning of 10 people. Do they do the social media research or do you?
They do the social media research.
So they do a little research to tell you what the clients did this weekend. You call them on Monday. You try to be interested in their life, correct?
That's exactly right. A lot of
You
questions.
try to make a deposit and do something for them so they feel obligated so they want to do something for you, correct?
That's exactly right.
So that's what you do on Monday. Every day you have a different group of people that you call.
Yes, sir.
So when I look at realtors, what are the two best places to get business?
From your database, people that
So
already
we're
know.
talking about your sphere of influence of people you
Yep.
care about. And then on Thursdays, who do you go after?
Thursdays, I go past clients all day.
And how many past clients do you have?
400. So
And
a little bit slightly above that, but right around 400.
how often will they move?
All 5 to 7 years. So if they move every 7 years, I think 15% of them will buy or sell every year.
So you're really looking at 60 potential clients a year plus what refers you, correct? So really between your VIPs and your past clients, you can consistently do 150 sides.
Exactly. I got to tell you, on the 400, we have 455 exactly that we were going after last year. And I totaled it up, all the past clients that came back to us, it was 69. So 69 out of 455 came back to
So
us.
right at 15,
It was
16%
right
came
at
back. Plus you
15%.
had some of them refer you, correct?
Absolutely. Yep.
So when I look at businesses, I'm looking at like, where do I get my coaching students? Where do I get my loan reps? Where do I get my mortgage students? I'm always looking to improve the list of who I call. How many outbound calls do you make a week?
At least 75. I'm probably dialing about 150 times.
So you're calling about 150 people a week and
Yep.
you're getting about 75 conversations a week.
Yes, absolutely. A little north of
And
that.
how many
Yep.
people do you try to see face to face a week?
At least 15. I'm probably more like 20.
So you try to see 15 to 20 people a week.
Yep.
You talk to 75. Do you send many thank you cards? I know a lot of top people send thank you cards. Do you?
Absolutely. So we send at least 20 notes. So every Monday, along with my calendar and my greatness tracker on my desk and my call list, is 20 notes. And I got to fill them up or I owe her some money at the end of the week.
Okay. So you do a lot of thank you cards. And why do you
Yep.
think that's important?
Well, I think shelf life, memorable. If me and you had a good interaction and I wrote about it, machete love note, and you read that note, then it makes you think, oh man, he's taking the time, means something to you.
So I see a lot of realtors are trying to go heavy social media. How do you feel about that?
I think if they're heavy, they're making a mistake. I think it should be a great supplement to your business.
So how much business a year do you do off social media?
This is an area of improvement for me. So last year was probably zero.
So you didn't do any deals off social media. So you use
No,
social media to warm up your relationships.
correct. Yep,
Are
absolutely.
you going to turn it into a lead generating system?
I am now. We got a couple people in the
Well, I
crushing
think that we just
it.
had Reagan speak at the event and she did 112 deals off social media.
I am missing the boat. I need to get on
So I
that.
think the one thing about the core, we have lots of people to copy off of. What do normal people do that are out there that are not in real estate or lending or don't have good coaches or don't have good examples? Would you suggest they do?
Well, I think they need to find a mentor for sure. So you find a
Find a
mentor that knows how to do
mentor,
it.
find a mentor or coach you agree, or a good boss that you can work for, that
Yep.
you can learn from. Now, what does that mean to have a good mentor or a good coach? What does that mean?
Well, I think you always have to be seeking good counsel. So if you seek bad counsel, you do the wrong things. If you seek good counsel and actually do it, it'll propel you to new heights, raise the glass ceiling.
Have you had no counsel?
I have had no counsel in my life.
Have you had bad counsel?
Uh, in younger years, yes.
Cool. And do you feel you currently have good counsel?
I have pretty dang excellent counsel.
So when you look at counsel, what areas of your life do you get expert advice on?
Me not being a knucklehead, so me making sure that I stay away from the bad things and keep focused on the good
So you
things.
use me for your business and your money, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
You have a
Yep.
personal trainer, or do you work out on your own, or what do you do with
Nope.
your
I've got a
physical
personal
fitness?
trainer that keeps me going.
So you got me for your business and money. You got a personal trainer to keep you in shape. What do you do on a spiritual side or a love life side?
So you and I have the same guy. We have Roy Mason. He makes sure that I take excellent care of Erica and make sure that I stay faith based. So we talk every Tuesday at 8:30 in the morning. We talk.
So you talk to a guy about Jesus and marriage. You
Yep.
have a personal trainer to help you stay in shape. You have me that you talk to regularly for your business and money. Sounds like you're a directed man, not a drifting man. What is the difference between those two things?
So drifting, you just don't know where you're going. You're just flying by the wind, and directed means seeking good counsel, listening to them, and actually implementing it.
So how old are you?
Just turned 41.
So what are the next, like you've probably got 25 good working years, 25 to 30 good working years. I mean, I'm 64. I don't see any reason I would slow down. Our new president is 78. Our outgoing president was 81. I look at Sly Stallone, 70. I mean, there's a lot of great people doing great things in their 60s and 70s, correct?
Absolutely. Yep.
Do you
I'm going to keep
dream
going.
about the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years? Do you think like that? Or do you think like this year?
No, I think pretty big picture. Being around you, I keep thinking bigger and bigger picture all the time.
So where would you see yourself in like 10 years? Like if you could dream your business, what would it look like in 10 years?
So I think running $100 million production style personal relationships out of San Antonio and having a really big role with the core training. So since I've been with the core, I've gone through milestones in life. I've gone through not being able to have kids and having three little miracle babies, and then going through a divorce and screwing it up, and then going through COVID and shifting from a gigantic 50-50 agent model business down to a personal production, highly profitable business. So I get the most satisfaction from doing that same thing that y'all have done for me for other people. So I see
So
myself
for
leading.
you, a big production business, a big coaching role where you're helping a lot of other people. Why is it important to give back to your industry and your community and people in the planet?
Man, givers gain mentality. And if we don't do it, nobody else will. It's
I
kind of my thought.
agree. I agree. So when you look at your team, like we talked about your sales, when you look at team, what does team mean to you?
Well, I can't do it without them. So the team should be doing the things that I don't really like to do, or the things that don't make me the most money but are necessary. So that's how
Like,
that
do you have a birthday
leverage.
program? Do you have a birthday program for your clients and referral sources?
Yes, sir.
Do they manage all that, or do you?
Nope, they manage it. We have a 15-minute meeting once a month about it where they just go through and I label if that's an A, B, or C person, and they know exactly what that means. If it's A, they get a
So
really awesome gift.
you do card call gift with how many people?
455.
So you do a full on gift program for
Yep.
everybody. What
Yep.
do you do for like events? Do you do events for clients?
We do 3 events every single year.
Wow. What kind of events do you do?
So we do a big Easter egg hunt in the park next to our office. We do a big movie day where we rent out the theater. Everybody comes, get a popcorn and soda, watch a movie on us. And then we do a like Halloween pumpkin giveaway and bring your Halloween costume contest. But then half the office is turned into a haunted house, and my kids scare everybody that shows up.
So that's a lot of fun. So that's really cool. So you do three really good events. It sounds like you're becoming quite organized.
That's not my strength, but that's why I have team. So the team keeps
You
me
know, when
organized.
I was coming up, I was taught by one of the mentors of my life that there are no rich slobs. How do you feel when you hear that?
I think that's accurate.
Like it impacted me, and I'm always been unorganized and a little fly by the seat of my pants. And for me, when I heard that from somebody that I really admired and respected, I have made a major transition for 30 years to be the most organized I can be. And I feel I'm very organized. I feel like I handle my business. I'm where I'm supposed to be. Like I went to the national championship, got up, drove in, showered, came to work, busy all day. So, I like wealth, but I like balance. So you had mentioned earlier that you had messed it up and got divorced. How long were you married the first time?
We were together for 13 years, married for 9 years. It's been about a little north of 5 years since we got divorced.
So, and you're back in a relationship, correct? And you just got
Back in a
engaged.
relationship.
Congratulations. So,
Thank
what
you.
does it look like different this time in your relationship that you didn't do last time?
Oh my gosh. I think I was all about work or all about the excuse. I was also like to go out and drink a lot. And I thought, oh, I'll get business by going out to all these happy hours. So that's not really accurate. So a little less drinking and a little bit more communication and a little bit more.
So, I don't drink and I haven't drank in a long time because I felt it affected my life too much. So,
Yep.
what do you think is appropriate business or social drinking?
2 drinks or less.
2 drinks or less, how many times a week?
Once or twice.
So do you think that's what's appropriate for business and social life, proper drinking?
Yep.
So I think that when you hear the word recipe, what does that mean to you?
Recipe is exact. So if somebody gave me a cookie recipe and said, hey, these are awesome cookies, but I left out a few of those parts of the recipe, they're probably not going to taste very good.
So I look at my coaching like a recipe, how a realtor gets sales, how a financial planner gets sales, how a mortgage man gets sales. And I think that I watched the team last night. Did both teams have a recipe?
Both had a recipe.
Did one follow it better?
I think Ohio State followed it to a T.
No, I thought, no, they did a turnover. I'm sure that was in the
Oh, yeah,
recipe. So they had a turnover, they fumbled the ball, and that changed from a domination to a close game. Do you agree?
absolutely. Yep.
So, what are some mistakes that you see a lot of people that you coach make?
Uh, on the realtor side specifically, we can have, we just sell a few houses, make a lot of money. And as you're starting to accumulate some of that money, there's like a false sense of, oh, I feel rich. So I think a lot of people take their foot off the gas.
I think they get it. I always look at people and I always ask, which disease do they have? Are they
Mhm.
comfortable? Are they soft? Or do they have commission breath? Which is the best disease to have?
Probably commission breath.
Exactly. Now, how do you solve commission breath when somebody just wants to get paid so bad you can smell it on them, hear it on them, feel it? How do you fix that?
Serve.
Thank you. What a great answer. So, what does serve people mean to you?
Pour into them. Listen to them. Make it about them, not about you.
That's awesome. I think that's a key. I think that, when you look at when you look at God and Jesus, to me, it's like when it says to love people like you love him, I think he served us. We have to serve them, feed them, take care of them, worry about them, fix their problems. Like you ever been to a restaurant and the manager comes by and says, how was the meal? And then walks right on before you even answer.
Oh, all the time.
Did you feel served?
No, not at
But if
all.
he comes by and he's like, hey, how was your food? No, really. Was it warm enough? Was it hot enough? Have you been here before? Is this a special occasion? What else could we have done to make it better? Hey, it's your anniversary. Let me get you a dessert on us. That would be what? Feeling what?
That would be a wow. I'd feel important
Now, a lot of people check the boxes. Do you agree?
all the time.
They just don't put their heart into it. So I think that, when it comes to sales, it takes sales to build wealth. Do you agree?
Yes, you got to have
It takes
sales.
team to deliver a great experience to continue the journey of sales. Do you agree with that?
Yep.
Now let's talk about the money. I think that a P&L and a personal budget are the two most important forms that you can ever work with. I was in Orlando last weekend for a car auction, and I had about 27 of my clients came down, and we hang out, we watched cars, we played poker, and of course I was reviewing P&Ls like a madman. Okay, on a car weekend, I'm always working. Last night was with clients. This weekend I was with clients. I'm always entertaining clients. Why?
That's the name of the game. You're pouring into
To
others,
keep
making
them
it about them.
clients. What's the purpose?
Keeping clients.
Keep clients. And I
Yep.
was looking at P&Ls, and most realtors don't do any kind of job at a P&L. How are you with the P&L?
Getting better and better. Work in progress.
So how much time do you put in your profit and loss every month?
We have an hour every week, and then at the end of the month, we have another hour. So I guess I'd say 5 hours a month.
So 2 to 5 hours a month you put into your profit loss, analyzing your expenses, analyzing your revenue, looking at your sales, looking at your profits. I know a lot of realtors struggle with income tax. What's your concept on that?
Pay your tax.
That's my concept. Pay
Yeah.
lots of taxes, make lots of money. Now, let's talk about the best part of wealth, accumulating it and growing it. So, what do you try to save every month out of your taxable income?
20%
Every month.
every single month.
And how long have you been on that?
Oh my gosh. I guess I've been on it for, well, for real, about 8 years.
So, for 8 years, you've been a really good saver and you got divorced, so you gave up a lot of money. What do your finances look like right now? Do you own a home?
Well, my story is pretty crazy because with you guys, I think it took me 8 years to accumulate a little bit north of 1 million. And going through divorce and trying to keep the houses and all that stuff's expensive, man. So then I was left with about, I think in the bank account, 68,000. So I went from 1 million to
Wow. And what are
68,000.
you
And I was
back
like,
to
oh my
now?
gosh, I don't belong.
What are
The
you
funny
back
thing
to
about
now?
money, so I'm back up to a little north of 1.6.
So, you're 1/6 in the stock, all in the stock market?
There's a portion of a mutual fund, which is basically the SPY that my money manager, my financial advisor runs. And then there's like just under 700 that I have, just to like
And
E
then you
Trade.
have a real estate portfolio. What does that look like?
I have a lake house and a primary house,
So you have a primary house and a lake house. What's your primary house worth?
about 750,
And what do you owe on it?
300,
And what is your lake house worth?
about the same, 750,
And what do you owe on that?
about 600.
So you have two pieces of real estate growing. You have a stock portfolio. Do you invest in your 401k?
Yep. 401k with the core is like 105, something like that in there.
Do you max your 401k every year?
Hmm. Yep.
Okay. So you're working on your sales, you're working on your team, you're working on your money. What are some things that could derail you? Because I see a lot of people on a journey of just wealth and balance, and then they wreck it. What are some things that could wreck your journey?
Just distractions. So,
Like,
uh, alcohol, women, not doing the right thing, not staying grounded. Those are probably the things that would wreck me.
so for me, I believe you in the Bible, it talks about having a hedge of protection around you. To me, that means that I'm hanging out with good people and I'm in good places. Like when we went to the car weekend, I rented a big Airbnb. I told them if they come, they had to stay at the Airbnb, either at the car show or at the Airbnb, no going out. We had fried chicken from a chicken place. We had pizza. We played poker for $100. We talked shop till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. We had 4 teenagers. We had 23 men. We had a great, healthy, fun time. But I felt like it was kind of a what? Hedge of protection.
Oh yeah, hedge of protection
So
for
it's
sure.
like I had a bunch of bushes around me, a bunch of good people that I care about. So I think that who is your inner circle that you surround yourself with?
Uh, Most of the mentors, one thing that I switched up a few years ago is I got myself involved in pickleball. So I'm in two different pickleball leagues and I'm probably the youngest guy. So I like hanging out with a little bit older, wiser people to keep me on track.
So you're playing pickleball twice a week. And how do you like that?
Oh, I love it. I'm getting pretty good. Very fun.
You know, a lot of people that make a lot of money can't have a relationship, can't raise good kids, can't have any hobbies. Why is that?
They're just fully engulfed in work for some reason.
Well, I think they want to do well as their initial intention. Do you agree?
Yeah.
But I'm just telling you, for me, when I first started coming up, I was working 80, 90 hours a week. And I was showing up for my kids' stuff, but I wasn't always present. I'd be at the game and I'd be on the phone or I'd be late or leaving early. And I think that I salvaged it when they were teenagers. You know, I got serious about balance when they were teenagers. Otherwise, they probably would have been junky kids. And right now, they're really good. So I think you got to have really good spiritual, really good work, really good money, really good love life, really good friends, really good work on yourself, really good family. You got to have lots of balance. Where do you find yourself out of balance right now?
I got to tell you, the times where I felt the most out of balance, you just mentioned the 7 boxes of life, 7 areas of life. And I feel like for a while I was a little bit confused because I thought that balance meant like equal time in those boxes. For some reason, I was a little confused, but I think the times where I was most out of balance is if I was ignoring, just straight up ignoring one of those boxes, like
That's the
just
secret.
didn't
What
exist.
are you ignoring? And I
Yeah.
wonder how many people out here are ignoring their warm leads or ignoring their past clients or ignoring their team or ignoring their P&L or ignoring their personal budget or ignoring their investments or ignoring their spouse or ignoring their kids or ignoring God or ignoring their fitness. Like the pickleball, we need to have some recreation, don't we?
Absolutely. I'll go crazy
Because
if I don't.
all work makes Johnny very boring. Do you agree?
Yes.
Well, I've really enjoyed the last 10 years, and I've really probably enjoyed the last two. Is like I've been a knucklehead most of my life, and I probably didn't get serious about doing the right thing till I was probably about 28 or 30. When did you get serious about doing the right thing?
About 37.
About 37, you got serious. So here's what I will tell you. It's never too late to change. And I think change for me, my pain leads to my change, leads to my growth. So when you hear that formula, what does it mean to you?
Oh, when I'm going through the pain, I got to find the right mentors to change in the right way and actually do that. And I'll grow and become the best version of myself I can be.
Yeah, some people have a high tolerance for pain and
Mhm.
they have a really big concern about changing. Now, does anybody like change?
No, it's tough.
No one likes change, and the bigger you are, the less you want to change. Do you agree with that? Like you
For
can
sure.
hide your deficiencies with your strength. Like you look at remember years ago, there was always a cartoon for weightlifters, and the guy had great big muscles and chest, and then he had little skinny legs.
Tiny legs.
He
Tiny
was out of
legs.
balance, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So you got to really work on having the total package: spiritual foundation, love life, family, fitness, friends, finances, work, recreation. You got to get it all in. Now, I'm a very busy man. What's your time schedule like?
Mine's pretty tight. I'm 45 hours at work, like very, very strict there. But man, I'm on point with kids and on point with spouse and on point with everything else in my life.
And who manages your schedule? Do you do it or does somebody else?
Nope. So I've got Lexi who helps me put it all together, and then Matt in my office is like my ops manager who holds me accountable to it.
Well, I think that's really the key. Well, I'll tell you, Patrick, I really appreciate coming on my podcast. And we're going to try and reach out and touch a lot of people and have lessons that we can teach to people about money and wealth and balance. And I'm really proud of you. And I'm really enjoying watching you grow. And I really appreciate helping me with the core journey and helping our clients do well and teaching lots of realtors and lenders. I'm sure people got a lot out of this podcast. Thank you very much. Last thoughts,
Absolutely.
Patrick?
Man, I just think that I would be so out of whack and so out of balance and so lost with all the different things that have happened in my life. And I have to thank you, man. So if it wasn't for like all those things you just listed, when it's like people ignore leads or ignore their team or ignore their body or ignore their spouse or ignore their kids. And I'm like, there's so much stuff to keep track of. And it's like without the coaching, without the core, without you, I would have been ignoring it all, man. So thank you.
Well, I personally believe you're drifting, driven, or directed. So if you're drifting, you have no plan, you have no idea what you're going. If you're driven, you're so focused, but you're always out of balance. But I think when you have the right director in your life, the right direction, like I've been under authority for a long time with Roy, I really feel I'm under authority with my wife. I really feel I'm under authority with my boss, Ron. So I have a mentor that guides me, and I have a boss and a wife that hold me accountable. I think it helps me, but I love watching you grow. Have a great week. Rick Ruby, Street Smart Millionaire. Have a great week. Go get it done.